paper and you will never be able to publish that paper in a top conference. So what you really need to do is to think out of the box. And the important thing is that you discuss with others. So in Indian mindset, we always think of that if I discuss the problem with others, then that guy is going to steal the idea from me and that guy is going to publish a paper before me. Now, what I personally believe that if I am talking my problem with someone else, and if that person is able to get that idea and publish a paper by himself or herself, then that person is much more intelligent and efficient than me, and he or she is the right person to publish that paper rather than me. Well, so that is why be free. Well, discuss your problem with others. In a good community, people never going to steal your work, or it is your idea, so it is very difficult to steal an idea and publish a paper before you do. So discuss with others, get others' feedback, and that is actually very much important. And as I have mentioned at the beginning, that you read the recent researches in the top conferences. Attend conferences and talk with people, know the recent field. This is very important to know the fields. And here at the end, I am going to mention that in details, like take advantage of this COVID-19 pandemic, because nowadays you do not need physical travel, at least for the next year, what I believe. So many of the conferences are nowadays online, and many of these top conferences are happening online. So attend those conferences and talk to people there. And always try to ask questions like, what are the research challenges in the problem? So this 4 is a typo here, ignore that. So what are the research challenges in the problem? Is it really a research problem or a mere engineering problem? Why people have not solved this problem yet? So if people have not solved the problem that you are thinking of, there might be two of the things. Either the problem is too easy, it is not a problem at all, or the problem is too tough. So that you need to justify. So before jumping to a problem, you really need to understand what is the novelty or what is the innovative factor which is there in your idea. So ask these questions: that is the problem important? Now, how will you find out whether the problem is important or not? So one of the very important things, what I say is very prominent things, is something called the elevator speech. So you have to explain the problem in 2 minutes and see whether you are able to explain the problem in 2 minutes. If you are able to explain a problem in 2 minutes, that means the problem is actually important and the problem is catchy. So remember that a reviewer is not going to read your entire introduction section to understand your paper. So they are just going to get some keywords from your paper to understand that whether your work is actually important or not. So that is why this elevator speech is very much important, and that is also important whenever you are visiting conferences and meeting people and going to explain your problem. Because with the big names, you are not going to get some 15 minutes to explain your problem. You have to explain your problem in 2 minutes. And if you are able to explain your problem in 2 minutes, and if the person finds it sufficiently interesting, that the person will get interested on you and keep on discussing the problem further. Okay, so that is why try to practice the elevator speech and see whether you are able to explain the problem in 2 minutes or not. Try to see the questions like, who are the beneficiaries of the problem? So if I solve this problem, who is going to get the benefit? Will the problem be important in the next 2, 5 or 10 years? Or is it a kind of very immediate goal? And as I have mentioned earlier, discuss the problem with others and get their feedback. This is very important. The second question is the work novel? For that, check the related ones. And as I have said, that make paper reading a kind of practice. And then, if you have a kind of delta improvement, see that can I use an existing work from the related literature and make a delta improvement on top of it to get my solution? So if I can directly get it from an existing paper, then that paper is not going to be very exciting. Well, so do not fool yourself here. Do not try to convince yourself. Remember that here, convincing yourself is not necessary. Rather, be a critic of yourself. Try to critically look into the problem and try to see that, well, if you get that problem for review as a part of a top conference or journal, whether you are going to accept it or not. Okay. And then an important aspect to check into that, who are your competitors? So always try to avoid the crowded fields. Try to avoid fields where you cannot beat the big names. Say for example, in data center networking. Now, if you try to do some work in data center networking, you will never be able to beat Google or Facebook because of the infrastructure that they have. So that is why be very careful while selecting the problem and do not jump to a problem where you cannot beat the existing ones. So, at some other questions like what I typically follow, that from the beginning itself, think about the implementation, because in a system research, majority of the time goes with implementation. So from the beginning itself, try to see whether you have sufficient toolboxes to implement your idea. Think about the various possibilities. Nowadays, we have the cloud, there are different open test made, whether you can use to implement your idea. Also, as we have mentioned earlier, that system research is a teamwork. So try to see that do your advisor or colleagues have sufficient necessity to help you in the implementation, and always try to collaborate with others. Try to find out who has the expertise in that implementation and try to collaborate with them. Also see that do you have data, benchmark, etc. for evaluating your system. How much time do you need to build up the first prototype? So if you feel that the implementation is going to be very, very difficult, then do not take up that problem, because you might not be able to solve it at the end of the day. Also, at the beginning itself, during the time of implementation, try to think of that what are the final data that you are going to collect, what are the final graphs that you are going to generate, because that will actually steer your experimental plan. It will say you that you need to run these experiments to have a nice results out of your system. Now, to selecting a problem, you have to have two of the things that I have actually copied from the comments of Professor Amit Roy Choudhury, that either there is a wow factor. So if you are explaining that problem to that person, there is that problem itself sounds very interesting, or you can do a very detailed and thorough evaluation. So let me give you one example. From one of the paper by Amit Roy Choudhury. So in that paper, what they did, that so typically nowadays, so there are a lot of work where people have tried to find out that if you are roaming with a mobile phone, where you can get the best signal, right? So they have looked the problem in a different direction. So what they have said that, well, I would deploy some kind of mobile base stations, which I will call as the robotic base station. Now this robotic base station can be Wi-Fi access point itself. So these Wi-Fi access points are kind of movable access point. Now assume that in a classroom or in a room, few people are accessing Wi-Fi. So what the access point will do, the access point will find out the optimal location where if it places itself, it can provide optimal performance to all the users who are using it. So now you think of that, Professor Roy Choudhury has thought the idea from a different aspect. So typically what we do, we try to make the users mobile and try to find out optimal deployment of the users such that they get the best experience. Now here, in the idea, he has made the user static, but made the mobile phone roam, or made the Wi-Fi access point roam around the room. So the Wi-Fi access point is a kind of robot who is trying to find out the best position to serve all the users in the best possible way. So now if you are explaining this idea, obviously you see that people think of that, oh, this idea is very interesting. Till now we have just heard of about mobile users. Now we are hearing about the mobile base stations or the mobile Wi-Fi access points. So the idea is very cool. So that way, try to think of out of the box. Well, another suggestion, that is a kind of my personal suggestion, that you work on the recent topic, but do not jump on the buzzwords. So for example, this blockchain, fog computing, all these things, I personally think of them as a buzzword. in the sense like, well, you can obviously do nice work out of that. But there is a trend that wherever there is a problem, people try to apply blockchain there. So for example, if you want to do research on blockchain, try to ask the questions first, like, why do you want to solve that problem using blockchain? Can't I get the same effect without using blockchain? Do I at all need a blockchain to solve the problem? Or what is your innovative idea? So do not try to solve a problem using blockchain just because others are talking about it. Okay. So if you look into the literature, people have actually tried to solve anything and everything in the world using blockchain. So do not become a prey to that. So that is my again, that is my personal view, and people may deviate from here, but this I found mostly what people are following in the top conferences that I have mentioned. So to start with, I would take a comment by Larry Patterson. Only two types of papers are accepted: good papers that are well written and mediocre papers that are well written. So the goal is that you mediocre. So take your time in writing the paper. Do not start writing 2 days before the deadline. So typically, my suggestion would be you complete the paper at least a week before the deadline. Get feedback from your fellows, iterate multiple times over the paper, and most importantly, ensure that there is no spelling and or grammatical errors. So these are actually very bad thing in a research paper. So if your language is not correct, then people are anyway not going to accept it or not going to read it. So nowadays there are tools, there are lots of spell checkers or tools like Grammarly. Take help from them and try to make your paper as much written in as much correct language as possible. So this is a typical organization of a system paper. So break the paper into components like abstract, introduction, related work or background, pilot study, motivation, system overview, then the different system components that you have, finally the implementation, results, discussion and conclusion. So I'll talk about this individual section. So the first section is the important section, is introduction. So typically I try to write the introduction using a few paragraphs. So the first paragraph set up the pitch, like why I am taking this problem. The second paragraph is to motivate people about the problem. So give examples, try to show why the problem is important, what are the challenges which are there in the problem and how you are going to tackle the challenges. So the third paragraph is highlighting the existing works and their limitations. So you will have a separate related work, but here in the introduction itself, very briefly tell about what are the different aspects in which people have tried to solve that problem, but what are their limitations. So be a critic here about the existing work. And finally, with that context, clearly state your contribution. And here, never overclaim about your contribution. So that is a very bad thing. So whenever a reviewer will look into your claim, they will try to match your claim with the content of the rest of the paper. And if they found out that, well, the claims are not matching, immediately they are going to reject your paper. So never overclaim about your contribution, but be very precise about your contribution. So this introduction should be very crisp and clear. Audience should get the flavor early enough. So as I have mentioned, so you should have a mode of kind of elevated speech. So you should, within the first 2-3 lines, you should jump into the problem rather than saying a lot of blah, blah, blah. As I have mentioned, that reviewers do not have much time to find out your contributions. You should highlight those. Now, many of the time in the Indian research community, I have heard these things that people are saying, people are complaining about the reviews. They say that, well, I had submitted a paper and I have not received good reviews. Reviewers have not read my paper. Reviewers have not understood my paper. But believe me that if the reviewers cannot understand your contribution, it is your fault and not the reviewers. Okay. So as I have mentioned, that review is a voluntary job. So you should make the reviewers convinced about your work. and do not expect that only the expert people are going to read your paper. So always expect that, well, out of the 3 reviewers, 1 will be expert, 1 will have somehow domain knowledge, and the 3rd reviewer will be very novice. So he or she will not have any kind of domain knowledge. So whenever you are writing a paper, the paper should be understandable to all these 3 category of reviewers. Well, it should not only for the expert. So the people who do not have that in-depth domain knowledge, they should also be able to understand your contribution clearly. So that is why, as I mentioned in my previous slide, that you complete the first draft of the paper at least 1 week before the deadline, and within that 1 week, you get your paper reviewed by an expert, a person who has somehow a kind of domain knowledge, and a person who do not know anything about the domain knowledge, and get their feedback about your paper. So acceptance rate for the top conference is less than 20%, so the default decision is reject. So whenever someone is reviewing your paper, the immediate decision is reject. Now you need to convince the reviewers to make it accept. So that is the tricky job. Related work. So this is actually one of the section that we ignore a lot, but we should not ignore that. So this related work should not be a mere summary of the existing works. You should be critical, clearly state the existing literature, what the existing literature have done, and why you are different from them. However, their method does not scale well in real systems, or their method is not practical for real implementation. So always try to say why the system doesn't scale well, or why it is not practical for real implementation. Well, so that way, try to be technical. Okay, so do not be philosophical, or do not write those kind of verbose sentences. And many of the time, a comparison table might help, comparing about different related work and how your system is handling the different kind of pitfalls which are there in the existing works. Section 3 is the motivation. Approach is to do some pilot experiments to show that what are the challenges one can face while implementing the system. So the objective would be that the reviewer should be able to visualize the problem. The reviewer should understand what problem you are going to solve. Now, typically in a paper, if you show the challenges, there are some opportunities to which you are actually going to mitigate the challenges. Show those opportunities. So here is an example. So earlier I mentioned that in our Indian community we have a tendency that we just throw the data on the problem. So your system might apply ML. Well, so do not blindly apply ML models. First, do some experiments to show what are the different patterns that you are observing in the data set, what are your observations, and then justify the ML model that you are using. So explainability should be there. Okay, rather than having explainability, you should not blindly use something. Okay, so this is actually one of the comments that we have received in one of our very recent papers. So the reviewer mentioned that your paper looks like that I have some data, let us apply some ML models and see what results do we get. So your approach should not be like that. So your model should be explainable, and you should be able to justify that why your model is working good by showing the inherent patterns. Then you will have your system component section that will depend on your system implementation. And finally, you should have an implementation section. And this is probably the most important section of a system paper. You should clearly describe your implementation with all the hyperparameter details. So remember that while you are writing your algorithm, there might be multiple hyperparameters. So you can have an equation, right? Alpha into something plus beta into something, where this alpha and beta are some hyperparameters and the values between zeros and ones. In the implementation, you should clearly state what values of alpha and beta you have taken and what is the justification behind it. Why you have taken, say, alpha equal to 0.01 and beta equal to 0.05. So those justification you should give. In implementation, reproducibility is very much important. Reproducibility means people should be able to reproduce your system or your results by reading your paper. So you should not write a paper in such a way so that people are not being able to implement it. People should be able to implement it. Even the minor system hacks are important in implementation. So you should write them very clearly with justification that why you have done those small modifications. What was the purpose of that? What advantages have you got by doing those minor modifications? Finally, the result section. So the most important thing in the result section is the graph should be very clear and understandable. Be aware about the color combination, because you should not use some colors which are not visible by the colorblind people. So be very careful here in choice of your colors. As much as possible, use vector graphics rather than raster graphics, so that your figures are scale invariant. Explain the graphs clearly. It is not important to show that your system works. Rather, it is important to show that why your system works better than others. So that particular justification is important. And if your system fails in some aspect, why it fails and in which way it can be recovered. So this kind of internal analysis of the system is important in results. Okay, so do a rigorous analysis of the system. And while writing the results, avoid phases like as you can see. The reviewers can see everything. You don't need to write as you can see. Our system performs better than others. So always try to mention that how much better, quantify it, rather than just like those verbose sentences. We have shown that. No need to write that. People can see that you have shown that. Well, so do not try to fool the reviewers by writing these sentences. Try to be very crisp and try to be as much imperative as possible by giving point-wise details. Highlight the important portions of the graphs and tables. This is very important. So whenever you have a large table, highlight which columns or which particular cell in the table you want to show to the reviewers. And do not miss the labels and units in the graphs and tables. So always try to provide the X label, Y label, and their inputs in the graphs. Finally, this is important for a system section to have a discussion section followed by a conclusion section. So whatever paper you are doing, none of the system can be very perfect. Your system cannot solve all the problems of the world. So your system will have some limitation. So take the advantage of the discussion section to highlight what are the limitations of your system. So it is always better to highlight it yourself rather than the reviewers find it out. So write the limitations of your system yourself in your paper and justify that. Try to justify that so that in this particular scenario, my system would work better. And in a conclusion section, conclusion should not be a mere summary of the paper. Always mention that what you have learned from the implementation. Okay, so that should come in as a part of your conclusion. Now, these are the last 2 slides from my side, the final thoughts and the summary. So first of all, know the domain well. Read papers from the top conferences only, at least during the initial days of your problem selection. Learn to differentiate between correct works and junk works. This is very important in the correct context. So there are many papers which are not implementable. They does not carry any useful information. So try to avoid those papers. Don't fall prey to the buzzword. Focus on the fundamentals. So you people are blockchain is a buzzword or fog computing is a buzzword. So I have to jump to that problem. It is not like that. Try to justify it clearly. Avoid to be a jack of all trades. Focus on your problem. Take your time in system research. So system research does not demand a paper on every 4 months. So that I have mentioned. So take your time, make your work complete, and then make a submission out of it. Submit a top venues, even to start with, even not a full paper. Submit as a poster workshop papers, which will be much more effective than a 2nd tier or 3rd tier conference. Now, there are good system conferences in India. They might not be as high as possible, as high as that NSTIC kind of conferences like COPSNet, HSBC India, HCI, ICDC, and all these conferences, but they are good conferences. So you can always try to submit your full paper there and attend those conferences. That would be actually a good start to get your mentors, to find out your mentors and to talk with people. And lastly, take the advantage of the COVID time. So attend the online conferences. Now, many of those conferences are actually happening online. At least all the conferences are happening online, and many of these conferences are free for registration. Like we have Census 2020 coming up in a few months from now. I think it is at the November or October end. So Census 2020 will be free to attend. So attend those conferences. Few days back we had Mobisys. So Mobisys was also free. And all the video lectures, all the talks in Mobisys, they are also available publicly in SCM SIG Mobile YouTube channel. You can even watch those talks right now. So take advantage of these online conferences and try to attend them. So this was all from my side. So happy learning. Let me quickly take up the questions. So I think I am almost over the time. So let me quickly take up the questions which are there already, and then we can have any other further questions. If the paper is rejected, is the same journal we can apply again? Yes, you can do for the journals, but that depends. So many of the journals you can actually provide a response to the review comments, highlighting that how you have addressed different review comments, and you can resubmit it. But few of the IEEE transactions or ACM transaction does not allow that. So if the journal allows, it is always advisable to do that. That can be a good practice. What are the free tools that are available for grammar checking other than Grammarly? Actually, I do not know about any kind of free tools. There are few free tools that I have tried, but they have not worked very well. So Grammarly was possibly the best tool that I have used till now. And Microsoft Office 365 also has a grammar checker inbuilt, but that is also not very free. So I'm not aware about the free tools which are actually good tools. So there are free tools, but they do not work very good. Is it safe to find plagiarism freely or any alternate? So for the plagiarism check, I think it is better to use Turnitin, then Authenticate, that kind of software, that kind of toolbox. So they are very much reliable. This free software, the reliability is a big problem. So that's why I typically do not recommend to use them. Shall we present review papers in conference? Actually, the top conferences, they do not accept the review paper. So if you are actually interested in writing a review paper, I would suggest you to go with journals like SCM Computing Service, IEEE Communication Service and Tutorials, or this IEEE Network Magazine, IEEE Communication Magazine, IEEE Sensor Journal, this kind of journals, which typically accept the review papers. So conferences are not good for review papers. Regarding how to read the research paper, how to select good paper, I think I have already covered that. There are various tools to judge a journal like SiteScore, or which one is the most important. So all these SiteScore, then impact factor, all these things are kind of publicity stunts, what I will say. Like different vendors, they provide different toolboxes, and none of them are actually perfect. So it is always better to to select conference or journals. It is always better to see what the top people in your field and where they are publishing. So that I believe is the best way to judge a journal or conference, well, rather than running onto this kind of factors which are debatable, and none of them are actually perfect. Well, so for the journals, typically IEEE and the ACM transactions are good. Elsevier journals, I feel they are also good, few of the journals. Springer's, a few handful journals are not at a top tier, but well, they are well accepted. So this fast publication and all these things, they are very relative. That they typically depends on the editor. Okay, and so that is why I just mentioned that people globally, people in the computer science domain, they are trying to avoid journals. So journals typically have a long turnaround time, the good journals, and that is why the best way to communicate your early work is in top conferences. But I understand that in Indian systems you have a limitation there, like the credit score, all these things are being counted based on the number of journal publication. But at that time also, I feel if possible, it is always better to try the good journals. Even I have seen some IEEE transaction, they give reviews within 1 month or 2 months if the handling editor is good. So it another question is the open access journal. Open access journal, actually, personally, I do not like them. IEEE access is there. Many of the people are publishing there. But these open access journals, again, that I have mentioned, that many of the time they do not have any kind of quality publication. So if you are running behind numbers, these are good. But otherwise, if you are thinking about the quality publications or some publications to which you can enter the global research community, these are not at all a kind of good venues. So if you are at all interested in publishing in some journals, you should always try with IEEE or the ACM transactions and some top Elsevier or Springer journals, rather than running behind such open access journals which give reviews in 2 weeks or so. So that way, even in many of the places, if you are publishing in this kind of journals, they are counted as negative rather than positive. So I always discourage in publishing to some venues which are not well accepted by the community. Okay, I do not see any other questions in the chat box. If there is any other question, we can take it up, maybe, if the time permits.
Sorry, it was a wonderful session, sir, and we all enlightened with lot of knowledge and information. And so please, a few people asking about for survey papers or review papers. You said something like some magazines and journals, no, letters. Please mention those. Sir. A few people are asking about that.
For the survey papers, yeah, for the survey papers, what I suggested that the good journals, so the conferences typically, top conferences typically do not accept the survey papers, because the conferences, the objective is to have the technical contribution. Among the different kind of journals, there are specific journals that accept the survey papers, like ACM Computing Survey, IEEE Communication Surveys and Tutorials. There are some magazines in IEEE, like IEEE Network Magazine, IEEE Communication Magazine, IEEE Sensor Journals. They accept the survey papers. And in Elsevier, typically the journals like Computer Networks, Ad Hoc Networks, Pervasive and Mobile Computing, these journals accept the survey papers if the survey is reasonably good. So these are the kind of best venues for submitting the journal paper, survey paper. So just to start with, to get a kind of good feedback from the community, I would always suggest to go with ACM Computing Survey or IEEE Communication Surveys and Tutorials. These are the two journals which I think has the highest impact factor in computer science domain. And I have seen that many people from India actually publishes in these journals, these two survey these journals which are specifically focused on service. So these are the kind of good venues that can be taken.
Sir, can I ask one question?
Yes, sure.
Thank you. So thank you so much. Participants, if you have any questions.
Suraj, sir, one question.
Yes, please.
Very basic question, sir. When we do the literature survey, we'll end up with downloading all the related papers, 100, 200 papers, right?
Yeah, please,
So if
please,
we
please.
have missed, can you suggest any of the guideline or a method just to select only precise number of papers related to the topic?
Aishwarya, go ahead.
Now to start, so this is my way of doing it. First, I would only read the papers which are from the top tier
Yes, sir,
venue.
please, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead, madam.
Of my domain. So to understand that whether the venue is a top tier venue, typically there is a journal and conference ranking system that is called a core ranking. Okay. Core conference ranking. So let me just show it to you. Just a minute. Can you see that tab?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here, this is if you search with core conference ranking, you can get this site. So here, if you put the name of any journal or conference, so this is for the conference. Similarly, here you can see that there is an option called search journal. You can search a journal. So if you put the name of a conference, a SIGCOMM, you can see that it is going to provide a rank for that conference. So it is here the rank for SIGCOMM is A star. Okay. So typically to start with, I will only take the conferences which are ranked as A or A star. And I would first read the paper from those conferences or journals. And then in the next step, I will look into their citations and do a kind of iterative search to see what people have done. But ideally, I do not read any paper which are not ranked in this core conference paper. Okay, because those papers are many of the times are not that much significant or really significant papers. So that is why majority of the times they do not become very useful. So that is why to start with, always read the papers from the top venues and iteratively go down towards the papers that are being cited by those top venues.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else?
Anybody having any other question? Okay. So thank you so much for accepting our invitation and giving a wonderful talk. And it was really informative and it was very useful to each and everyone. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for inviting me again, and thank you all for your time. It was nice interacting with you. So okay, thank you, take care, bye bye.
So formally I'll hand over. So 1 second, sir. I'll hand over this to Aishwarya. Aishwarya,
Yes,
please
sir.
go ahead.
So thank you so much, sir. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us all today. We are really grateful for you for taking out your time from your busy schedule. We were privileged, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.